COVID-19 testing has ramped up in recent weeks, but so have concerns on whether testing sites can be trusted. We found pop-up sites just disappearing overnight, leaving people with no test results and no answers on how to get them. So tonight, our Taisha Walker's digging deeper into how unregulated testing sites operate and what's being done to fix the problem.
The Omicron variant continues to lead to high demand for COVID-19 testing.
I made an appointment, and so I'm just surprised to see, well, how do I have an appointment and there's like 6 million people in line?
People desperate to get swabbed are lining up anywhere with a sign for a free test.
They said it was just COVID-free, PCR, same-day results.
Just leave me alone.
Yet KPRC 2 News uncovered concerning issues at obscure pop-up sites, conveniently placed in many urban and rural neighborhoods in recent weeks. City and state officials now warning people about where they're getting tested due to questionable operations and lengthy delays.
Obviously, we didn't prepare for these type of unscrupulous testing sites that pop up.
Every site, every lab has to be vetted.
Part of the problem, Texas does not register nor regulate pop-up testing sites.
The lack of regulation allows pretty much anybody to become their own little pop-up testing site.
For example, this red container stationed in a Cypress parking lot. There's no signage, visible name of a lab or licensed healthcare provider. Only a QR code to upload a driver's license and enter personal information, including a social security number, which is not required for a free COVID test.
Here I am wondering, is this place for real, or they're just taking people's personal information?
We found other cases of delays and pop-up sites vanishing across the Houston area. Kelly Burns says the pop-up tent in Northwest Harris County she visited later disappeared. She has no idea who was in charge or how to contact them.
I don't know what they're going to do with that information and why they would have taken it if they're not going to do COVID testing.
3 weeks later, Burns says she still doesn't know if her test is positive or negative. KPRC 2 News also found local labs struggling to meet demands. The problem stretching into other states. A Kentucky health department cut ties with Texas Diagnostic Laboratories after waiting a week without results or a response.
I've been tested a lot here in Kentucky and never really knew where my lab results went, but I was really surprised that they were all the way in Texas.
The West Houston lab also handles local tests tied to some of those pop-up sites. The chief operating officer, Shahzad Dalal, says the delays are related to sick staff members and the holiday surge, but has since ramped up operations.
We're going to do the right thing, and we're not going to bill for those tests.
Meanwhile, the line at some of the locations we first visited are shorter now.
Go to this number and ask for my results. Shady. Yeah, I don't really like it because if you were to go to CVS or Walgreens, it would be more professional because they know you need your results.
But little has changed.
I know there may be people who are popping up and offering testing. I wouldn't necessarily trust those pop-up sites.
The city of Houston and Harris County are now warning people to avoid pop-up sites and only visit ones associated with a hospital or municipality. We told U.S. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas about some of the issues people were experiencing at the temporary sites.
The pop-up sites are just what they say. Pop up and gone, or pop up no answers, or pop up with the wrong information.
She called on the Federal Bureau of Investigation to take a closer look at temporary COVID testing sites nationwide after reports of fraud in other U.S. cities. We also reached out to State Representative Ron Reynolds of Missouri City.
Now, there was a big backlog because of the holiday, and I gave them an extra day or two, but this is ridiculous. I think that we have to hold them to a high standard.
Reynolds says the state needs more oversight of pop-up testing locations.
I just want to thank you again for your due diligence, for your persistence. This hopefully will lead to changes in this state.
Reynolds says he's spoken to the House Speaker Dave Phelan, who said that he would follow up when there are developments. Beyond the FBI, the Federal Department of Health and Human Services says they've received complaints of similar issues across the country, saying in part, "We will continue to encourage the public to stay vigilant and report suspicions of COVID-19 healthcare fraud." Although the Texas Attorney General's office tells me that they have not had any complaints, you can report any testing issues to them, as well as to the Houston Health Department and HHS. tests. You can find that information on clicktohouston.com. In the studio, Taisha Walker, KPRC 2 News.